mark my words. If Dominic Toretto even makes a cameo in this, I'm walking out. I'm going to leave my popcorn, my drink. I'll come back for it later, whatever. If I drop my phone in the seats, I'm not going to even take the time to go looking for it. I'll come back for it later. I'm gone. Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List, and today is going to be a real kind of numbers day here today.
We're going Jim Carrey on this.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that movie. I didn't go to that. Was good. That was good. Deep cut reference there.
Thank you.
All the jokes and puns he was telling me before, I was getting really worried. So
they were good ones.
Well, the world will never know, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about some pretty. We're going to talk about a lot of movies here, I think. This is going to be a jam-packed episode here. But first things first, let's do another edition of what I like to call Thinking Outside the Box Office here. Just a little update on our little bet. I gave you an out last week. You decided not to take it. So, let's just look at it here. In case you missed it in the past, Lilo and Stitch live-action remake. A few weeks later, How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake came out. You said you thought How to Train Your Dragon would do better than Lilo and Stitch. Which number would you like to hear first?
Well, Lilo and Stitch should be the same as last week because it was 3 weeks already.
Okay, but I'm basing it based on where it was at the 10-day mark. So How to Train Your Dragon right now has 10 days.
Yeah,
it's listed here on Box Office Mojo. So I'm looking at the 10-day mark for Lilo and Stitch.
Just do Lilo and Stitch and then Dragon.
Okay, so at the 10-day mark for Lilo and Stitch, we were at $278 million. A little over that. Yep. I'm not going to say all the digits here or whatever. Yeah. 10-day mark for How to Train Your Dragon, $160 million. So it's a little under $100 million.
Yeah.
A little under.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Good thing movie theater tickets are expensive.
But hey, you still got 11 days to make that up, right?
Well,
we can do it.
I got it.
It's not like there's not two box office coming out, or two blockbusters coming out this weekend, and then a Jurassic Park movie the weekend right after that.
What's coming out this weekend?
Oh, just a couple movies.
Well, I think one might be one. I don't know. I wouldn't say two.
I think two of them.
I wouldn't say two.
I would definitely say two of them.
I would definitely
say two of them. No. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
We'll get into it.
All right, I just want to take this moment here to remind everyone that as cruel as I may sound and how much I bully him about this, I would like to once again say for the record, I gave him an out last week, but he decided not to take it, so not going to offer that up for a second time here. Anyways, let's move right into the opening spotlight. We've alluded to it a little bit here. Not one, but two movies are coming out this weekend with numbers kind of built into the title.
Yes.
Which I found was kind of a weird coincidence.
Yeah, because, once we actually sat down and looked at it, there's quite a bit of movies that have numbers in the title.
There's more than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought we would be able to, we're basically kind of focusing on that theme, numbers in the title. We're going to try to avoid sequels because that's kind of an easy answer. But, like, movies with numbers that are kind of built in, or just part of it, whatever. And I thought there'd be a few we could talk about. But more and more I looked at it, I was like, well, I'm going to add a little extra category here. Yeah. There's more we got to talk about. So we're going to do another edition of what we like to call ABCs, but this time we're adding the D to it. That's right. Each time we do this, we're just going to add a letter. By the end of it, we're just going to have the full alphabet.
The alphabet?
Yeah.
We could probably find something and find a movie for every.
I was actually looking into it. I think I got about 15 out of the 26 letters that I was really right away kind of thinking we could figure it out, honestly, but it would be a really long episode. So in case you've missed these in the past, basically we try to break down what we think are some of the main general genres before we just did ABC. Action, based on a true story, comedy. Trying to cover our bases there. Because, like I said, there's a lot more to talk about here. We added drama. Figured you might as well who knows what we'll do for E next time. I don't know. But this is starting to sound like a Sesame Street episode here. We're just going to go through the whole alphabet in case you haven't learned it yet. We're going to basically each give our own pick of a movie that we think represents each of these general genres here. And, just kind of talk about other movies that have a number kind of built into the title. So let's kick things off with some kicking. A little bit of action here.
Let's go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm in a silly mood today.
That's perfect. That's what we like.
No, it brings shame to my household. Yeah, why don't you kick us off here? What is your action pick?
So I had two that I had to whittle it down to, and I decided to go with the Zack Snyder original 300. I absolutely love this movie. The cinematography is fantastic. He directed that, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wrote and directed. Yep.
Is that Gerard Butler?
Yep.
And actually, there's two movies that I have today with Gerard Butler in them that both have titles. So it's Gerard Butler kind of day.
I'm trying to think what would be the other one.
Yeah, it's you might not have even seen it. This is kind of a deep cut for us. 90s, maybe 80s.
I'm
90s,
curious
90s
now.
Kids.
You've piqued my interest then.
Yeah, great story. Visually appealing. The audio's great. The lore, the history, just cool. So check it out. About the 300 Spartans. Speaking of kicking things.
I'm not sure if the camera caught that, but
that was my Spartan kick.
It was a good try there.
It's pretty cool.
So for my action pick for a movie with a number based kind of into the title here, I got a feeling this one, I don't know if it'll necessarily be a controversial, but it may not be necessarily as much of a popular one. To be fair, I have not read this book series. I've only seen the movie, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it. I am number 4. This was kind of during that huge hype of the YA novels. Like, this was late 2000s, early 2010s.
YA, young adult
novels, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it just got buried under all those, because you had Hunger Games, you had Divergent. At that point, it wasn't a failing franchise. You even had Maze Runner. I only bring that up because we talked about Divergent last week. But, I have not read the book. So I could see, we see the situation a lot where it's like the movie is not accurate to the book.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get the outrage for that. So I have no idea. Yeah. I don't remember.
And I remember watching that and thinking, oh, this wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I thought the concepts of the powers and the whole, well, you have to kill them in order. I think it added interesting stakes. I thought it had a really good young cast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of disappointed that never got a proper sequel or anything or a continuation of the story there. I thought it had set up enough. So I think it's a little too late now to do that, I suppose. You'd have a better chance of just rebooting the franchise from the get-go, but I remember enjoying it, and I remember being a pretty cool action movie, and you got Timothy Olyphant in it, too, and he's always great, so if anything, check him out for that, and you got a pretty good dog character. One of these days, we'll have to do, like, the best dog characters, and he might be up there.
He might get it.
Is that Beagle? Pretty cool. But yeah, let's move on to a little bit of based on the true story, biography, something historical, just something that kind of maybe did happen in real life or is about someone. So what is your favorite in that category here?
I'm going, well, you want to go first for this one?
I don't have to. I mean, you can.
I went with 8 Mile. Kind of showing my age here again a little bit. I remember when this film came out, Eminem was huge. It was wild. For me, not really being much into rap, and then watching this movie, and it was like, oh, this is really good. I like this. And that definitely, I would say, helped introduce me to the rap world and hip-hop. So, yeah, really like it. Eminem's great. People forget that he's actually not a bad actor. Granted,
he's great in that movie.
Yeah, he's great in that movie. Granted, I wouldn't say he's a great actor, and I wouldn't say he's got a variety of things he can do, but he can do a couple of things.
Yeah, I would say with that movie, you could also make the argument he is essentially playing himself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I have like a screenshot of it somewhere. There was like a whole thing where Lady Gaga was like, yeah, I was in my character for like months before and after the production of A Star Is Born. I just couldn't get out of that character. I'm like, the character's you.
Yeah.
I feel like, but whatever, to each their own. But yeah, I do think he is a little bit of an underrated actor. I also think he does have one of the funniest opening scenes in that interview movie. Where he's getting interviewed by James Franco and everything like that. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into it, but he's so deadpan in it in a way that you have to have some talent to pull that off.
Yeah.
But I totally, I was debating on 8 Mile for one of these categories, totally slipped my mind of it being bio.
Yeah.
Because, that is pretty much based on his early life. You know, he's drawn from experiences there, and you can tell because there's a lot of raw emotion and everything. But yeah, totally slipped my mind for Bio, but that's a good pick. Mine, we're going to talk about Brad Pitt here a little bit later on this episode, so I'm going to talk about him a little bit here again. 7 Years in Tibet. I feel like we haven't really talked about this movie, but I'm not really going to go too much into the story here because, again, this is another one I haven't seen in a while, but, again, one that I remember very well. You have Brad Pitt based off this character who was like this famous climber. I believe he was trying to get to Everest, and this was, I believe, post-World War II. So still fairly early on where it's like, okay, if you climb Everest, that's still a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Nowadays, how many tourists do it throughout the year? And it's lost a little bit of its luster. But unfortunately, he gets caught up in the war and everything like that and gets captured, even though he's not a soldier. Eventually ends up in Tibet where he befriends the Dalai Lama. Yeah. Who's, is he still alive today, I think?
I think so.
I feel like he is.
Fact check.
Yeah, I feel like I have to now because if I'm going to talk about him and that guy, I got to know if he's still alive.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd remember if he wasn't anymore, right? Is the Dalai Lama still alive? Yes, the current Dalai Lama, yes, he is still alive. All right, just making sure I wasn't.
Was it the same Dalai Lama as it was?
Yes, I believe this was the one that he met, or the real life character, I should say, that he played back in that time period. Yes, I believe this because the current one was born in 1935, so this would have taken place in 1940s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been about that age. But, yeah, so it's a really interesting story. Some of the politics and stuff that goes on there, I believe, are still kind of seen today and still have effect today and everything, which is kind of crazy to me, how that was decades and decades ago, but it's still kind of like we still haven't got over that or still haven't gotten around all that and everything. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's just a great performance from Brad Pitt. Great performance from that child actor, too, who plays the young Dalai Lama. I thought he was really good in this, too. So I don't know, just wanted to check out.
All right.
But let's bring some laughs into this. Let's get a little less serious here and bring some laughs in. Talk about comedic movies that have a number in the title. What do you got for this one?
Movie 43.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen this? Is that the one you were going to do?
No, but I just can't believe you picked that one.
Why?
You do. It's your time. Your turn.
I saw, what year did that movie come out? Because I saw it when it first came out and was like, man, this is a weird movie. I didn't get the joke of the movie. I want to say like...
Do you have any bets?
Early 2000, like 2000.
You're saying early 2000?
Yeah.
Close, but also not close.
What is it?
Early 2010s, 2013.
Did it really?
It was a January movie also, if that says anything.
Oh. 2013, really?
You're talking about movie 43, the one where it's got all those little vignettes, all these little cameos and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
2013.
My gosh. I might have looked at the wrong thing. But yeah, movie 43, the first time I watched it, I didn't necessarily quite get it. And then I watched it a couple years later, and I thought it was hilarious. This movie's got so many people in it. It's got Gerard Butler as a little leprechaun with James Franco.
That's why I couldn't think of what movie you were talking about, because I tried to block that movie from my memory.
Yeah. I just remember there was a very distinct scene with Hugh Jackman that I think about all the time. And I'm wondering, did South Park kind of do that? Or was South Park, who did it first? And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, look it up. But if you're under 18, don't look it up.
Yeah, no, definitely don't look that up.
Kids, don't look it up. Hugh Jackman, movie 43. Don't look that up. Okay,
so assuming I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Original air date, March 30th, 2010.
Okay, so South Park did it first.
Of course South Park did it first. I don't even know why we were questioning
that.
They're
the best. South Park.
I don't even know why we were debating that at all.
But yeah, that movie's just wild. It's got some pretty out, and it's got relatively big it's got big stars in it. Like crazy. There's a lot of big names in there. And they're doing some questionable things.
That movie
couldn't. I don't think that movie could be made today.
It shouldn't be made today.
If it was made, it would be a comic made movie. not a Hollywood-made movie or a YouTube thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
It wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah, I guess I could see that a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, all right. I'll let you have that pick. If you found enjoyed it, good for you.
What? Did you not like it?
No. The only scene that's worth watching is the one with Emma Stone and the Kieran Culkin brother or whatever, where they're in the supermarket. That's the only one that's worth watching.
That's not the best one in there.
That's the only one worth watching, I feel
There's a lot of really funny ones.
Whatever. Okay, but you want to know why they were able to get so many big stars in it?
Why?
It's because nobody wanted to be in it, but Hugh Jackman owed one of those brothers who directed it a favor, and they said, hey, you're just going to do this one scene. It's just it. It'll be like a day's work or whatever. Yeah. And so then they went to every star after that and was like, well, Hugh Jackman's a part of the project. Oh, really? Hugh Jackman? Well, okay, if I'm only doing one scene, Hugh Jackman's part of the project, all right, I'll be it. And that's literally what they kept doing. They're like, oh, yeah, we got Emma Stone, Kate Winslet, Hugh Jackman, Liev Schreiber, all that. Yeah. And then they just kept collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
because nobody wanted to be a part of the movie.
But everybody was a part of it, and now it lives in infamy.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, okay. You know what? You found your I'm glad you found enjoyment in it, I suppose. Anyways, my comedic pick here, I'm going to go with The Three Amigos.
I almost went with The Three Stooges.
I almost went with that one too. I'm not gonna lie. I think that one's underrated. I think Three Stooges is underrated for sure.
Yeah.
That was actually my backup in case for some reason you stole my Three Stooges or Three Amigos, I should say. But yeah, this is an early '80s movie. Basically, I like to think of it as the movie that got Lorne Michaels away from SNL, which kind of led to that mini downfall there. And then he came back, whatever. But that's a whole other story. But I don't know. I think this is one of Steve Martin Short's, Chevy Chase's best performances just all around. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's huge laugh out loud moments, but these are the type of movies I like more where it's just kind of consistently funny, where it just feels like all the characters are doing some of these little things that are just so funny. Like I said, there's a lot more to talk about here than what we usually do, so we decided to add a category here. We wanted to get a little bit more dramatic here, specifically adding some dramatic elements. So I don't know. You want to go first with this one here as well?
Sure. I bounced between two tough ones. Can I say both of them?
You know, I kind of have two as well for this one, so go ahead.
All right. So the first one was one of my favorite all-time court movies, 12 Angry Men. Just love that movie. Got me interested in court. And I was actually able to do jury duty one time. I'm one of the few people that loved it.
You truly are. You're one of the only people whose eyes light up when we talk about jury duty.
Yeah, it's great. I loved it. So, but then my other one was 42, Jackie Robinson's story. Fantastic acting, fantastic story. Yeah, those are my two dramas. I think the 42 was done really well, very well. And if you're a fan of Chadwick Boseman, I think you would like this movie a lot. If you're a fan of baseball.
So you actually stole one of my two, and I feel a little insulted.
Which one was it?
12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
It's in my top 10 movies of all time. How dare you?
Yeah.
Did you not read the poster outside? Now, thou shalt not steal 12 Angry Men as a pick.
Well, I do.
Carter, get down here. We're switching you out. You want to talk about baseball? We're switching you out. Hit the shot. Get the dugout. All right. Carter's in. Carter's in. Anyways. All right. So
I'm on my way. Don't worry.
I got a few minutes left.
You got a few more pitches in you, I guess. All right. I'll just talk about my backup one here since you stole my primary. But
talk about that, and then we can both talk about 12 Angry Men.
You pretty much just talked about 12 Angry. I've said verbatim everything I need to say about.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah. It's one that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and it was just
I'm
hard
being
not
childish
to,
here. I'll admit that.
Yeah,
I'm a little grumpy about it.
But it was good.
I'm going to cry about it, all right? Just let me cry about it.
Well, if you get angry about it and find 11 more people to be angry about it, you can be 12 Angry Men.
I'm about to beat you up with the power of 12 Angry Men and just me right about now. That's where I'm at, I suppose. Ironically enough, my backup pick does also have 12 in it.
Oh.
So that was part of the reason why I was going to do two of them here. Short Term 12. This was early 2010 movie as well. Brie Larson, early Caitlin Denver, who's been in quite a few things since then, including the recent Last of Us Season 2 and everything like that. But there's a lot of great performances in this. Early Rami Malek.
What's it about?
Basically, it's about this like kind of like youth center for like troubled youths or like kind of in bad situations.
Yeah.
And there's kind of these young adults who have to like take care of them throughout the day and all that sort of stuff. I'm really kind of oversimplifying it, I suppose, because I don't remember exactly what they call themselves or if there's a proper term for that facility, because it's not like an orphanage.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it that.
Is Brie Larson one of the orphans?
No, she's not.
Okay.
You're gonna steal my pick and derail my.
No,
you're gonna steal my pick, derail my joke, and then make fun of my second pick too.
Not make fun. It sounds interesting. I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because nothing you say about Brie Larson is ever not making fun of Brie Larson.
Would me make fun of Brie Larson? Never.
What am I gonna do with this?
She's marvelous.
Yeah, just a lot of great performances. It's a little bit of a tougher movie to get through because, like I said, some of these kids are in like tougher family situations and stuff like that. But really interesting one to watch. So again, I had a couple there. Both had 12 in them. Thought that was kind of funny.
How old is that movie?
Early 2000s. I want to say
2010.
No, I want to say 2013, 2014. Okay, something like that. Somewhere around there, I believe. Definitely pre 2015.
Okay,
somewhere in that range. But yeah, that's a couple of more than a couple movies, I should say, of ones that have numbers in the title. So let us know. Is there any that we missed? Let us know by commenting down below, or let us know some of your favorite or least favorite movies. We didn't even get a chance to talk about Fan Four Stick in this one here.
No, I was going to do Fantastic. Fantastic Four is my comedy. But
See, and that it's not even funny bad. It's not even that, like, it's just all kinds of bad.
It's kind of funny bad.
It's pretty just bad.
Well, come on, yeah!
This is the show where one of us is very good at video games.
Pretty sure I just jumped on top of a bullet, but
The other is not.
I don't even know how you do that. I don't know either!
And if you're not sure which one's which, stick around and you'll pretty quickly find out.
I gain like 50% words when I'm on camera, so yes! You did it!
Woo! I am the knight!
You did it! Should we get started?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. Let's move on to the weekly preview here. Talk about a few movies coming out here this weekend. Let's start with this one here, Megan 2.0, or as I like to call it, Mithrigan 2.0.
Yeah,
the second one got a 3 in the title. I'm convinced if they do a third one, they're just going to call it M3. Going to make that prediction right now.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so I'm saying it now so that when it happens, you could say you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Right,
that's
here.
really good, Nick. I'm
I
impressed.
think that's the only way you can do it, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
What are you going to call it? Mithrigan 3.0?
Yeah.
It's too many threes.
Yeah.
It's too many threes. Anyways.
I do like that M3. I like that.
I think it
like
worked.
That. They better make a third one just for that.
Just for that.
Yeah, that's
we'll
really
bankroll
good.
it. If this movie flops and they're like, we're not going to make a third one, we're going to chip in the money. We're going to start the GoFundMe just so we get that title.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. We got it. Anyways, this one's coming out here this weekend, 2.0, I should say here, set 2 years after the events of the first movie. Basically, a defense contractor got a hold of some of the old Megan tech and built their own killer robot. But surprise, surprise, real plot twist here. The killer robot went rogue.
No.
I know, right?
They don't do that.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it in the trailer. I just could not believe it. It was unbelievable. Yeah, now they have to rebuild Megan and basically give her a shot because she might be the only thing able to stop this other killer robot. So, yeah, the first movie was very much a horror movie.
Yeah.
This is 100% an action movie.
Action,
at least they're marketing it that way.
They're marketing it as action, comedy, sci-fi.
Yeah.
And the first one was like a horror, maybe sci-fi movie.
Yeah. Horror, comedy, sci-fi. Because I laughed in the first one, I think. And
I think it wasn't like funny.
But there were moments throughout it that I laughed, and I felt like the movie wanted me to laugh in those moments. Yeah, it wasn't like ha-ha throughout the whole thing, but there was a few moments that, I don't know, I consider it a comedy at least. But yeah, quite the turn here.
Yeah.
I was
wild.
I think the first time I saw this trailer, I almost had like whiplash. I'm like, is this Wait, this is Megan, right?
Yeah, especially the new one that they just released like a week or two ago. Like, what? It's a completely different movie than I thought it was gonna be after watching the first trailer.
Are we okay with this tone change?
Yeah.
You're okay with this?
Yeah. It's cheesy, campy, goofy, funny.
See, that's just it. I think I'm okay with it too. As much as I would maybe like to see a little bit more of the scary side, see what they could do with that, with this character of Megan and everything like that, I gotta respect it. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
Yep. But
I gotta respect it.
Yep.
It's weird. But
taking a chance, doing something new, give it a shot.
I mean, I never thought I would see a trailer for a Blumhouse movie, but it looked like a Mission Impossible trailer.
Ooh.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but she ain't no Tom Cruise. She ain't no Tom Cruise.
Well, she probably does her own stunts. She's a robot.
She ain't no Tom Cruise. That robot's not no Tom Cruise.
A robot's no Tom Cruise. I don't know. I think this is just another theory of mine. I think part of the reason why they're going way more action in this is because in the 2 years since that first Megan movie, so many other AI social commentary movies have come out. Like there's just been like a surprising amount considering how it's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
I just feel like that they acknowledge like there's nothing new we can bring to the table here as far as social commentary goes. Let's just do action.
And I also feel that, let alone from the AI movies and TV shows, AI itself has just advanced so much in 2 years. Like 2 years ago, we were probably thinking we would be at where we're at right now, but we were thinking it would take us 5 years or 6 years to get there. And like, I think we're like 2 years away, 2 or 3 years away from like really crazy AI stuff.
Yeah, I'd say.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Let's just say I'm already building my cabin in the woods, secluded somewhere. Yeah, I'm ready for that. So, but Megan isn't the only piece of engineering that's going to be showing up on movie screens here.
Ooh,
also,
that was a good one
coming out here this weekend. The theme for this week was almost best feats in engineering in movies. That was just a handful. It was just a mouthful, basically. Yeah. So I'm glad we did what we did. But also coming out this weekend, F1, also coming to theaters from the same director who made Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and Top Gun Maverick, comes this racing movie centered around the sport of F1 racing. Basically, a race team owner decides to pair up a young buck, a little rookie, and an old timer onto his racing team to try and make them successful.
And this has no relation to F5, right?
No.
This is F1?
No.
But there's no relation to F5, right?
It better not, or I'm walking out.
I just didn't know with F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. I didn't know if they were in the same universe. Or
Mark my words. If Dominic Toretto even makes a cameo in this, I'm walking out.
Okay.
I'm walking out.
All right.
I'm leaving. I'm going to leave my popcorn, my drink. I'll come back for it later, whatever. I'm gone. If I drop my phone in the seats, I'm not going to even take the time to go looking for it. I'll come back for it later. I'm gone.
All right.
No,
All right.
This is a totally separate thing.
All right.
Let's see.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. As I've stated many times on this channel, I, for one, am a big motorsports fan. However, I would say F1 has probably got some of the biggest gaps in my knowledge. Mm-hmm. Just because that's kind of fully international. They kind of keep to themselves. NASCAR kind of keeps to ourselves. IndyCar at least kind of bounces around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do find the concept of F1 racing, I've been trying to get into it a little bit more these last few years. I find it interesting.
I just like that they like race in cities and like build the tracks around actual real buildings and stuff. Like that's super cool to me.
Yeah. I think this movie looks awesome. Despite the fact that I have gaps in my knowledge for F1, I think this looks intense. You got Brad Pitt. You got Javier Bardem. Damson Idris has got a role in this too. And I've read there's going to be a few cameos from some real-life F1 drivers as well.
Are you going to recognize him?
I think I will, yeah.
Will I recognize him?
Probably not. Well, you might know Lewis Hamilton.
No.
He's probably like one of the more recognizable.
Never heard of him.
Okay, so if you don't know...
Barely know her.
What about Max Verstappen?
If he doesn't know Lewis Hamilton, he's not going to know Max Verstappen. I guess the last thing I'll say about this one is a lot of this movie was shot on a lot of real-life racetracks, which I love that. It gives a little bit of some authenticity. I remember during the 24-hour race of Daytona, they even talked about how they were filming some shots during the actual race and everything.
Yeah.
it'll be a lot more of the establishing shots and everything, and then they would have to go to the track afterwards and do their actual filming and stuff like that. But I don't know, similar to Ford v Ferrari, where they were actually on the track of Daytona. So
yeah, and they had a couple of cool shots, if I remember correctly, from the trailer of like Brad Pitt in the car, and it was like a 360, and it would spin around. That's super cool. I'm excited to see how that looks on the big screen.
Yeah, you could tell this was made by the same guy who did Top Gun Maverick without even knowing that, because it seems so simple. Just put the camera in the cockpit, and it's just like I feel like we haven't really gotten that.
Yeah,
it's such a simple thing, but they're doing it very well.
Do they call it a cockpit in a car too?
Yeah, I think. Well, like Indy at F1 they will, won't they, Carter? Yeah. I'm
pretty sure because it's such like a small spot, and the way the F1 cars are made, they look more like a jet than a car anyway. So. Yeah.
Any other thoughts on F1 here before we move on?
No, should be good. Brad Pitt's one of like the last quote unquote real movie stars, so I'm excited to see it.
Also coming out this weekend, documentary film called My Mom Jane. This one's coming straight to Max or HBO Max or HBO Go, whatever it's called these days. It changes every month at this point, so I lost track. Basically, this is a documentary, like I said before, made by actress Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay.
Thank you.
Then you can
I was really off there.
It's Mariska Hargitay. You can edit the Mike Myers, the Love Guru, Mariska Hargitay.
I noticed you was in that too.
Yeah, you can put that.
Here's what we'll do. I'm going to mouth it out and make it look like I'm saying it, and then you pronounce it so it looks like I'm actually pronouncing it. So I'm gonna lead you into it.
Okay.
This is a documentary that was made by
Mariska Hargitay.
Here she does basically her own deep dive into her past to learn about her mother. She was big kind of in show business way back in the day. However, she was too young to remember because her mom died tragically young. So never really knew her. And what I found kind of ironic about this is it seemed like the whole world knew about Jane except for her daughter. Mm-hmm. And so that's why she's kind of digging into this now. She wants to find out about her. She's interviewing some siblings who actually kind of knew her, learning some things, maybe some things she didn't want to know. You know?
They hint at a really big thing, a photo of something, and it's like, what are they talking about? I want to see that. I want to, So they hooked me. Mariska Hargitay hooked me.
Yeah, and I think it is even more so. It hooks you a little bit more knowing that the person kind of doing this documentary knows and is related to the person.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing if you and I go out and do a documentary film on a person, we're going to make it interesting, and it's going to be interesting to the viewer, but to know that the person has like a real life stake in it, that they're learning some things that are impacting their lives as they're making it.
Yeah.
It's something we don't really see a lot these days.
It's true. It's true. So, you don't see a lot of documentaries like this per se. So,
yeah. All's coming out this weekend. Please Don't Feed the Children. This one's coming straight to Tubi.
Tubi.
This is one of the first times we've talked about a movie coming straight to Tubi.
To Tubi.
Yep. Basically, in this movie, a deadly outbreak has seemed to have killed off and affected essentially just adults.
Yep.
Kids
spread it. They're the spreaders.
Yeah, that's the theory, is that they're the reason for it.
Yeah.
You know, blame the kids.
Those darn kids.
So a lot of kids are on the run or being arrested or stuff like that, and so a group of kids, in their desperation, find a secluded house to hide in, occupied by a sweet-looking woman. She has some pity on them.
Yep.
Brings them out milk and cookies, the whole thing. Well, it turns out she may not be so sweet, actually.
She's not.
So, that's kind of the mystery here. You know, what's her deal? What's her end game?
Yeah. Goofy premise, kind of a goofy story, coming straight to Tubi.
But interesting director. This movie is directed by Destry Alan Spielberg. You may recognize that last name there. Yes, this is one of Steven Spielberg's kids, his daughter, who was not involved in the project, from what we can tell here. You know, maybe was on set giving her support or whatever, but didn't write it. Wasn't even a producer.
Yep.
Nothing. So, I don't know. I've heard some not great reviews about it.
Yeah. And there's a couple of big name actors, or I should say, known actors.
Yeah. Well, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
He's great in everything he's in.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of worth it. But yeah, that might be why this movie's going straight to Tubi. There's not been a lot of great talk about it.
Yeah.
But hey, it's directed by a young Spielberg. We got to get this out here somewhere. And I think this is going to be the right call for Tubi, because I think it's going to be kind of getting some more eyes to their site. It's a free streaming service.
Yeah.
Like, completely free. Yeah, you got to see some ads throughout your movie and whatever, which can be kind of annoying, but you don't got to pay anything.
That's completely free.
Yeah, that's the trade-off. So I think this is a good move for them, and I hope this is kind of a good first step for Lil Spielberg. You know, if this is the career she wants to go down here, so. But let's wrap up this episode like we usually do with another edition of Number One Recommends. I believe it's my turn to start us off this week. And, you know, I was really disappointed after this weekend to read this. Elio, unfortunately, had the lowest box office opening for a Pixar movie. And, you know, that's kind of criminal. I did get a chance to check it out this weekend. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Is this top-tier Pixar? No. Is there a lot of things that are top-tier Pixar? No. It's really hard to reach that echelon. But this is a solid animated movie. It's got a really good story. I thought it had some really great humor. I was worried early on that there was going to be some jokes or some characters that were going to wear off on me. Mm-hmm. They didn't. I thought it had a really good story. You kind of mentioned the voice acting last week. I thought that was really good. I just find it so interesting how people complain, like, oh, how could they make a Toy Story 5? What are they doing? Well, it's because nobody's going out to see their original. They have to fit the bill somehow. Yeah. The only way you get these original ones is because you are able to finance it with $1 billion Toy Story 4. Yeah. So that's why they're doing Toy Story 5, because none of you showed up for Elio. So Elio. I don't know why I said that Italian. He's not Italian. He's not Italian in this movie. I don't know why I said that Italian, but that's when I get frustrated. I start speaking Italian. But yeah, I'm just putting this out there. When everyone starts complaining they're making Toy Story 5 and everyone's saying like, oh, how could they do this? I'm going to be sitting there being like, because none of y'all showed up with me for Elio. Yep. That's the reason why. Elio. And they should check it out. It's a solid kids movie. It's a solid, just good movie in general. So.
All right, good.
What do you got here? What are you recommending this week?
Boots. 28 years later. Absolutely fantastic. I loved the return to the 28 franchise, the Rage Virus franchise. I thought it was beautifully shot. It looked like it was 2004. Like that's what they wanted. And I loved kind of the change in the zombies / infected, where they kind of introduced the alphas, the kind of regular ones, and the like kind of, you know, bottom feeders of the zombie world, I guess. And it kind of showed the whole virus in a new perspective. I mean, imagine if the one virus hung around for 28 years, how different life would be. And like, there's some good humor. There's some scary things. There's some deep family tie issue things and kind of some morality talks in there. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. They did get to play the Boots poem in it for a little bit, and it was fantastic.
This movie essentially did what Zombieland 2 was trying to do, which was kind of being like, hey, we're a lot later in this apocalypse. Some of the zombies have evolved. Some of them kind of de-evolved. Yep. But, like, did it better? which is something I thought was kind of crazy. But I don't know if you've read this, too. This movie had people very split. I agree with you 100%. But when we shared our review, I was flabbergasted by
there's a lot of people
mixed reception. Like, we had people who were like, I don't know what people were talking about. I loved it. Someone were like, this was a fever dream. What the heck were you watching? Like, I was very perplexed by that.
Yeah, I want to read more of I haven't read like what people that didn't like it, what they didn't like about it, but I want to. Because now that I've heard it from a couple of different places that you either loved it or you hated it. And I'm falling the camp. I loved it, but I want to know why the people that didn't like it, I want to know why they didn't like it.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. Earlier this week, we released this month's special video, another edition of Guys in the Chair. We've been talking about this for the past few weeks now, where we played Arkham Knight in celebration for its 10-year anniversary. So if you want to see me, I wish I could say I played up the humor of how bad I played this game. I didn't.
Yeah, there's quite a few funny with the driving.
I as someone who considers himself a good driver,
do not
put me in the behind the wheel of the Batmobile.
Yeah,
that's all we're gonna say about that.
That was
so. I like to say I played that up. No, it was rough. It was rough. So check that out. That is on the channel right now, and let us know if there's any other video games you want us to check out. And also, this is the final week for you to check out our picks for this month's topic over at the Marshall Lyon County Library. But don't worry, we will have another topic with new recommendations probably next week. Topic to be determined.
Celebrating America's birthday.
Is that the route we're going?
I have no idea.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I feel like we have to now.
I can't.
It's a misdirect.
Yep.
People are going to show up being like, we're going to get National Treasure. And it's like Schindler's List or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. It's not going to be. No, we're not going to do that to you. Anyway, so yeah, just tune in next week. We'll let you know the topic and all that. So for myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.